You know what I'm going to say. Please donate. Please subscribe. Karen Restoule is with Crestview Strategies in Toronto, and she travels all over Canada telling people, encouraging people about Indigenous rights and about reconciliation, and which is terrific. One of the big problems that I have seen in the last year are mainly Liberals saying, don't you dare ever question that there were thousands of deaths at residential schools, or we're going to make you a criminal. They're going to criminalize discussion. So let's start with residential schools as opposed to freedom of speech. But I mean, there's evidence of, no one questions that there's bad things happen in residential schools. Absolutely, no question about it. Thousands and thousands of bodies, well, they haven't been found, and that's why there's a discussion. So for Native groups to say, you can't discuss it, it doesn't help them, in my view.
To be fair, that's a statement that came from the Liberal appointee, the special interlocutor, who in her interim and final report encouraged the Liberal government to criminalize denialism. So to be fair to the Liberals, and I'm not often fair to them, but to be fair to them, it wasn't them that tabled it, but nonetheless.
Karen, that's denialism. In other words, there's a difference between discussing whether, in fact, in this area, there were horrible things taking place, and there's evidence of it, and a discussion of that, and whether somebody should be looking further, and saying, well, nothing happened. No one in Canada says nothing happened, which would be denialism. So it's they're saying we can't even discuss it.
Yeah. So first and foremost, residential school happened. Yeah. Children were forcibly removed. Yep. Most made it back home. Yep. Some didn't. Yep. Right. Some passed away. They disappeared. Yep. They died while attending.
And other kids did too. There's smallpox. There's abuse. There's stuff.
Yeah. There was definitely illness. Know. But when it comes to conversations today about the darker shades of our shared history, I think there should be room for you and I to question. Criminalizing denialism puts a chilling effect on conversation writ large about, what happened here in Canada.
We need that conversation.
We need that conversation, and I actually think we should turn to Marie Sinclair, who is the chair of the TRC, who did not recommend to criminalize denialism, but rather said, education got us into this mess. Education will get us out of this mess.
He was an educated man.
That's right.
And a rational man. So in this, a whole thing about reconciliation, it's not going to happen if there's a law or there's people saying, you can't say that.
That's right. It really shuts down the conversation, where Canadians are at a moment in time where they are curious and they are starting to question what happened. And it's important that we keep that door open, however uncomfortable those conversations are going to be, so long as respect is the guiding principle.
Perfect. Thank you. 3 minutes. To those of you who have subscribed and donated, a heartfelt thank you. You're keeping us on the air. If you're watching and you haven't, please try to do so, because 4 years ago, we started this show because there needed to be independent analysis. Now more than ever, with the Online Harms Act. Once that gets into law, it's been passed once by the House, there are going to be hundreds of bureaucrats censoring the news in Canada, censoring this show. We need to keep it on the air. Thanks for your support.